Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on March 19, 2022. Gay rights activist among latest known victims of Ukraine war. I need you to stop. Marjorie Taylor Greene fires back at reporter over questions on Russian propaganda. The Independent. Fact check. Democratic activists falsely claim Marjorie Taylor Greene refused to applaud Zelensky. CNN. Marjorie Taylor Greene panned as useful idiot for Putin after speech full of Biden conspiracy theories. The Independent. Analysis. A layer cake of misinformation, dishonesty and pro-Russia apologism. The Washington Post. Marjorie Taylor Greene parrots Russian propaganda claim that Ukraine's 2014 revolution was US-backed coup. UN warns Russian blockade of Ukraine's grain exports may trigger global famine. The Guardian. Food supply chains are falling apart in Ukraine, UN warns. The Independent. Aid agencies race to get food supplies to Ukrainian cities at risk of siege. The Guardian. Opinion. The war in Ukraine is triggering a global food crisis. Here's how the US can help. The Washington Post. World Food Programme warns of Ukraine supply chains collapse. Ex-officer who shot and killed unarmed U.S. teen convicted of negligent homicide. The Guardian. Former Arkansas sergeant sentenced to a year in jail in fatal shooting of unarmed teen. Daily Mail. Arkansas deputy testifies in trial over teen shooting. The Independent. Police deputy jailed for a year over traffic stop shooting of teenager. Breaking news.ie. Arkansas jury deliberating over deputy fatally shooting teen. Germany investigates £1 billion TUI share transfer by sanctioned Russian oligarch. The Guardian. Germany investigating TUI share transfer linked to oligarch in EU sanctions list. Financial Times. Alexei Mordashov, oligarch's TUI transfer deal investigated business. The Times. Russia's richest man may have avoided freeze on £1 billion TUI shares. The media spotlight on Afghanistan is fading fast, but the agony of its people is far from over. How Ukrainian President Zelensky's simple green T-shirt became an iconic message of defiance. The Independent. Zelensky speech sparks soul-searching in Germany. Politico Europe. From Churchill to Pearl Harbor, Zelensky's speeches push the right buttons abroad. The Guardian. Opinion. Zelensky's powerful plea to Congress. The New York Times. Zelensky urges Germany to tear down the new wall in Europe that is growing bigger with every Russian bomb. Syria's President Assad pictured meeting UAE rulers in first visit since brutal civil war began. Sky News. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad visits UAE in attempt to come in from the cold. The Guardian. Syria's Assad visits UAE, first trip to Arab country since war. The Independent. Syria's Assad visits UAE, first trip to Arab state since war began. Reuters.com. Syria's Assad visits UAE, first trip to Arab country since war. China reports first coronavirus deaths in over a year amid Omicron surge. Biden lays out consequences if China aids Russian invasion in call with President Xi. The Independent. Joe Biden warns Xi Jinping of consequences if China backs Russia. The Guardian. Joe Biden warns China not to send weapons for Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. The Telegraph. EU has very reliable evidence China is considering military support for Russia. Politico Europe. Ukraine war. Joe Biden to warn Xi Jinping China will face costs if it helps Russia. Ukraine war. Man walks away from rubble-strewn tomb after being stuck under debris for hours in Kharkiv missile attack. Sky News. Ukrainian rescue team save kitten from rubble of building. The Independent. Stepan, the world-famous Ukrainian cat, finds safety in France. P&O Ferries sackings. Couple dismissed after 31 years of combined service say they were marched off ship like criminals. Sky News. Tory MP heckled by protesters at demonstration against P&O Ferries in Dover. Guardian News. UK government knew about plans to axe P&O staff day before announcement. Daily Record. Widespread protests against P&O over sackings. Runcorn and Witness World. The P&O Ferries debacle happened because the government values capital over workers. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.